I'm just back from a week away exploring the beauty and the fjords of Norway, and it reminded me of the importance of being present because when you're surrounded by this beauty and nature, you are much more in the moment and you're using your senses a lot more than we normally do. So today I wanted to explore a topic that is often overlooked in the fast-paced world of agency life. It's almost a contradiction in terms, and that is the power of living in the present. And the reason it's a contradiction in terms is because as agency owners, we're constantly juggling multiple projects, clients and deadlines, and it's so easy to get caught up in the never-ending cycle of busyness. But this can lead to burnout, decreased productivity, a lack of fulfillment, and just sometimes wondering why we're doing what we're doing. But by learning to live in the present moment more, we can not only improve our personal well-being, but also enhance our professional performance as well. So that's what I want to dig into in today's short podcast episode. So let's get started. I'm Rob DaCosta, and this is the Agency Accelerator podcast. As someone who has stood in your shoes, having started, grown and sold my own agency, I know just how it feels in the ups and downs of agency life. So this podcast aims to ease your journey just a little by sharing mine and my guests' experiences and advice as you navigate your way to growing a profitable, sustainable and enjoyable business. Let's kick things off today by talking about the importance of mindfulness. Now, you may hate that term because it sounds a bit of a trendy kind of yoga-y type term, but basically it just means living in the present more. So let's just dig into why this is so important. Because in today's fast-paced world, it's easy to get swept away by the constant demands of our work and our personal lives. We often find ourselves operating on autopilot, going through the motions without truly being present. And this is where the practice of mindfulness really comes into play. Mindfulness is the ability to be fully present and aware of the current moment without judgment or distraction. It's about cultivating a state of consciousness where you're fully engaged with the here and now rather than dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. And living in the present is the only real thing we have, and it's a really healthy place to be. As marketing agency owners, embracing mindfulness can have profound benefits on both our personal and our professional lives. So let's explore some of those benefits. First of all, increased focus and productivity. When we're mindful, we're able to direct our attention to the task at hand without being pulled in multiple directions by distractions or intrusive thoughts. In fact, we're in this battle these days with all of our devices and our apps and our notifications. So it's really hard to be mindful because they want to grab our attention rather than focusing on the task at hand. But this heightened focus translates into increased productivity, and we're able to accomplish more in less time. And perhaps more importantly, we feel like we are achieving things. Secondly, it improves our decision making and our problem solving abilities. Mindfulness can help us approach challenges with a clear and present mind, allowing us to consider different perspectives and make more informed decisions. By being fully present, we're better equipped to identify potential roadblocks and come up with better solutions. Thirdly, it reduces stress and it improves our emotional state. So the fast-paced nature of agency life can often lead to high levels of stress and therefore emotional turbulence. Mindful practices such as deep breathing and meditation and just really focusing on the singular task at hand can help us regulate our emotions and help us respond to stressful situations with better clarity and in a more calm way. Fourthly, it enhances creativity and innovation. When we're constantly caught up in the hustle and the bustle of daily tasks, it can be challenging to tap into our creative reserves. It almost feels like a contradiction because we just don't have time to be creative because we've got so much to get off of our plates each day. Mindfulness allows us to quiet that mental chatter and create space for new ideas and new insights to emerge. And the fifth benefit is it creates stronger client relationships and better communication. Being truly present during client meetings and interactions can enhance our ability to actively listen, which is another skill and another podcast on its own. And it helps us understand our clients' needs, communicate more effectively, and this can lead to stronger, more meaningful relationships and increased client satisfaction because the customer feels like you're completely present and completely engaged with them. So, by cultivating mindfulness, we're not only improving our personal well-being, but also enhancing our professional performance as agency owners. It's a powerful tool that can help us navigate the complexities of our industry with greater focus, clarity, and resilience, and a better sense of accomplishment. Now, as I said in the intro, what prompted me to record this episode is I've just had a week away and I was in the beautiful surroundings of Norway and exploring some of the fjords as well as some of the cities. And when you are sailing on the water, looking at these beautiful sights, you're living in the moment a lot more. You're much more aware of your senses, of your sight, of your sound, of the smells, and so on. And it was a good reminder how much more aware of time and how much more present you are when you're living in the moment. It almost feels like you have a different relationship to time when you are present. It seems to hopefully go a bit slower, and you're getting a sense of packing more in. It's why I like sort of action-based holidays rather than lying on the beach, because you're not in a typical routine or rhythm like you are when you're sitting at your desk working, and therefore I feel like you pack more in to your time and you're certainly more aware of everything. And I think we can take some of those experiences from being on holiday, doing a very active trip like I've just done, and bring it to being more mindful in our day-to-day work. And that's the purpose of today's podcast. So let me share with you 5 tips to help you be more mindful. And these include things like turning off distractions, rewarding yourself, and using the Pomodoro technique and practicing active listening. So first of all, eliminate distractions. One of the biggest obstacles to being present and focused and being mindful is the constant barrage of digital distractions that we face every single day. To cultivate a present state of mind, it's essential to turn off or silence notifications from your phone, from your emails, from your web browser, from your favorite social media platform, and so on. This will allow you to fully immerse yourself in the task at hand without being pulled away by every ping or every buzz. And if you're saying, yeah, but Rob, I can't possibly not have my email dialog box popping up in the corner of my screen, then let me burst that bubble, because you absolutely can. You do not need to be drawn away from that complex task because you see a client email popping up. If you have periodic points in your day where you check your emails, that is more than enough. And of course, if a client has an urgent action or a team member has an urgent action, they'll pick up the phone. So eliminate your distractions. As I said earlier, we are losing the battle for our attention because the phones and all these other browsers and apps are successfully competing for our attention. The next tip I want to talk about is the concept of single tasking instead of multitasking, which often leads to scattered focus and decreased productivity. We need to focus on single tasking. In fact, I don't think the idea of multitasking really exists. I think we should rename it multi-distractions. Whereas if we take a single tasking approach, we can fully immerse ourselves in one task at a time and give it our undivided attention. Now, in order to do that, you need to plan your day really well at the start of the day, consider all your priorities and leaving enough wriggle room for things that will happen during the day that you couldn't plan for at the beginning of your day. So that's my second tip, which is single tasking. The third tip I want to talk about is using the Pomodoro technique. And the Pomodoro technique is a time management method that can help you stay focused and mindful. It involves breaking your work into 25-minute intervals, and you separate them by 5-minute short breaks. During each of these 25-minute segments, you focus solely on the task at hand, free from all those distractions. The 5-minute breaks allows you to reset, recharge, make a cup of tea, check your emails, and prevents mental fatigue and helps you maintain a state of mindfulness throughout the day. And I think 25 minutes is a reasonable length of time to stay focused, to get a piece of meaningful work done, but not making it so long that it becomes impossible to do. So that is number 3, which is using the Pomodoro technique. Number 4 is to practice active listening. Active listening is a crucial component of mindfulness in communication. It involves fully engaging with the speaker, giving them your undivided attention, and actively processing what they're saying. This means resisting the urge to formulate a response while the other person is still speaking, and instead focusing on truly understanding their perspective. Active listening can strengthen your client relationships, improve team collaboration, and enhance your overall communication skills. Now, this is particularly a challenge when we are operating online via Zoom so often and people are tempted to do two things at once. But as I said earlier, we can't multitask, we can multi-distract. So if we want to really pay attention to the speaker, we have to focus solely on what they are saying. So that's tip number 4, which is practice active listening. And then my 5th one sounds a bit silly, really, but it's all about rewarding yourself. So staying focused and present, I absolutely acknowledge can be challenging, especially when tackling complex or even tedious tasks. To help reinforce your mindfulness practice, consider rewarding yourself with small breaks, as I already mentioned, or treats after completing a task or reaching a specific milestone. This positive reinforcement can help you stay motivated and present throughout the process. And a treat could simply be going to make a cup of tea, or it could be checking your social media, or it could be doing something fun after doing that tough task. Now, incorporating these mindfulness practices into your daily routine may seem challenging at first, but with consistency and commitment, they can become powerful tools for enhancing productivity, creativity, and your overall well-being as an agency owner. And remember, it takes 21 days to create a new habit, so you have to be diligent at practicing what I've outlined in order for them to become habits. So to wrap up today's short episode, living in the present might seem like a challenge in the fast-paced world of agency life, but it's a skill that can be cultivated with practice and intention and brings many rewards, so that's why you should do it. By embracing mindfulness, you'll not only find greater fulfillment and joy in your personal life, but you'll also enhance your professional performance and get a better sense of accomplishment and focus. Remember, the present moment is all we truly have. By learning to fully inhabit it without constant worry about the past or the future, you'll unlock a sense of freedom and clarity that will serve you well as an agency owner. So take a deep breath, ground yourself in the here and now, and embrace the power of presence. Your agency, your clients, and your team, and most importantly, your own well-being will thank you for it. So I hope you found that interesting and thought-provoking. It's something that we should all try to do. Even if we fail, it's worth trying to remember that living in the moment is the best thing we can do, and being super focused means that we get the important things done that move our agency forward. So if you enjoyed this episode, as ever, please consider leaving a review, since that helps the algorithm show it to more people just like you. Share this episode with your colleagues, and of course make sure you've hit the subscribe button so you are alerted every Thursday when the next episode of the Agency Accelerator goes live. But until then, have a fantastic, focused week, and I will see you next Thursday.